Hi, my name's Max,
I'm Aaron.
and we want to tell you about our project. Originally, we had planned to do something pretty cool. We wanted to do a motion controlled or like a gesture based motion to text converter. We ran into a few problems, but a lot of the functionality that came from that original idea was implemented in this idea. We ran into an issue with the nunchuck. There's no reference to where the nunchuck is in space. Now you can do some pretty complex math to try and figure that out, but in the end it became too much of a problem for us to implement. So we used a lot of the same functionalities that the nunchuck can control without orientation in order to build our current project. Aaron, why don't you tell us some of the things that our current project actually does and is?
Sure. So our current project uses the joystick of a nunchuck to input letters onto a LCD. You use the up and down directions to select which letter you would like. Then you press the Z button to actually have it stay on the display. You can use the C button to clear, and then you can backspace by pushing to the left on the joystick, and you can add a space by pushing to the right on the joystick. Yeah, it is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. So some of the components we used. Obviously we used the STM32L476 RTGX to do the actual processing and to program. Then we used quite a few jumper wires to hook everything up to a breadboard, which actually holds all of the components for our project. We used the Wii Nunchuck, a Wii Nunchuck adapter to hook up to the actual breadboard. We used two 1 kilo ohm resistors for the I2C functionality. And then we have all of the hookup for the LCD to the microcontroller. We also have a small potentiometer on here to control the contrast on the LCD itself. So the really cool thing about this project is that it's not dependent on anything but the microcontroller. So the power that's provided from the USB to the microcontroller is all that's needed for the actual project itself. Really, really cool.
All right, so some of the complications that we ran into with this project was specifically with the nunchuck accelerometers. There was an issue where, as we were designing, we were unable to get the nunchuck to stay in one position and have all of the readings from the accelerometers stay constant because of just general jittering inside of the readings from the nunchuck. And also because of the constant acceleration due to gravity, anytime the nunchuck was slightly tilted in one direction or the other, it caused very large jumps in our readings. And so between those two things, even just doing a simple thing like drawing a circle ended up resulting in the nunchuck thinking that it started here and ended like all the way back here. And that just was not working for our design. And so we decided to change it to using the joystick instead, and it ended up working out a lot better and had a lot more consistent results that we were able to implement into our final design.
We had a similar idea to what the joystick is doing with the actual motion itself. Using up to go up to iterate through characters, down to decrement through the characters. In the end, we would have run into a lot of the same problems. There's just no relative zero when you're working with an accelerometer that has no start point. So the best case for us was to use the joystick. And in the end, it came out with a really fun, really cool project. We played around with it quite a lot before finally making this. But we're really excited and very proud of the work that we've done.
Let me try that again. Here's a demonstration of our project working in real time. As you can see, there is a blinking letter A on the display, and if I change the letter by pushing up or down on the joystick, it will cycle through all the letters of the alphabet, so I can pick whichever one I like. And I'll just select the letter F for right now. And you can spell any word you like. I'm just going to try to spell the word food. And it does function as well that you can just hold it in the direction that you'd like, and it will cycle through the letters very quickly, which is very nice. So there you go, there's the word food. And then you can continue to write as many letters as you like, just to show that we can also go on to the second letter row. I'm going to just input a couple of A's. And here we are on the second row, and we can be able to type in anything else we would like, such as the word able. And we also have this functioned out so that way if you get all the way to the end of the display, then the blinking letter will disappear, but you can of course backspace as much as you would like to get back to wherever on the sentence or display you would like to be. You can also backspace into letters that you have already typed, as you can see here. And then by pressing the C button, I can make it all, if I hold the C button, there we go, you can see that the display completely cleared. And so there you go.